because that was great. And that goes for, but I do want to, well, I was sitting there thinking in my head some, shit I refuse to say anymore because they're jokes, and I refuse to do stand-up because I'm avoiding it, and that way I don't have to prove that I'm better than you guys. I don't do stand-up. Okay? If I stood up here for 5 hours and had a sign next to me that said James doing stand-up, I would deny it all the fuck. Because because like any of these things I say on stage, I can't say it again. You guys can work on those and get your energy up, and not because you can just get up on stage and touch yourself, dude. People are gonna laugh at it, and I hate you for that. In fact, watch your back on your way out, because I have some homeless people watching this via satellite. That's the shit I was thinking about. I didn't want to get up and say after that, but like I used to coach homeless people on their. I busk. I because I was singing on the street, and then the cops would come. Hey, you can't do that. I'm like, that old guy's right there. It's fucking playing guitar and singing and shit. Why you? And he bullshit excuse. I look young and virile. So if he starts some shit, because Val's all thung, and I'll be like, what? And then, because if he doesn't taser me or shoot me, he's actually got to, handle me and shit like that. And man, Alex over there, he's like freaking 100 years old and shit, and like, jamming. If I hang out with him, I was cool, but like by myself, so I had to get a busking license. It took a year. They were out of special paper. They have to print shit out on, and I got the shit in the mail, and it was just normal paper, so like, what the fuck, there was no watermark on it or anything. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But I finally got that, and had to deal with like, a whole lot of homeless time. Like there was a whole lot of, because homeless people I know, because I meet them, because I go every year when it's really cold. I ran out now, but every year when it's really, really cold, I would get a bag of shit and put it on my back, and it was clothes, because I don't throw shit away, because that's why sometimes I come off looking like a homeless person, but when I started busking, it helped because people give you more money. I'm wearing a fucking high school fucking academic challenge t-shirt. I'm homeless. Dear God, look at me. Shit, obviously. And then, people come and, don't you work in a cubicle somewhere? No, that's not me. That's someone looks just like me. I don't have a job. I don't try to pull out the street. It's just the clothes. Then you're not lying. I didn't say, you stereotype me, dog. I didn't say shit, alright? But the people out there, they do have these long, horrible, elaborate stories. Just like the guy at my dick hanging out?
It looks really great.
Well, okay. But no, like people coming up like at the bus station and asking me for a cigarette and be like, hey man, you know what time the 24 get? And I'm like, yeah, it kept on a cigarette? I don't even get the shit out. They're so well trained to have their disclaimer first. The dude didn't even let me give him my answer and shit. Like, follow protocol, dog, okay? Because people sitting right over there heard that. So when you go immediately to them and ask them for change, they're not going to give you sympathy. Besides the fact they heard you do it already just now, and that you're actually not going to get up and go to Burger King and get a sandwich. And I fuck those guys for. That's why I had to start giving advice, because like someone, man, you give me some change to give me something to eat. I take out my little cooler and hand them a sandwich. And they look mad as shit. They hate that shit. And I'm sitting there like, looking pretty homeless, myself, so I feel kind of bad. It's like, oh, I'm faking the funk and I'm insulting you in your face. I feel horrible about that. But buskers get a different vantage point for that, because I ain't walking up, like I saw a guy he had to make like $100 alone. I'm sitting there singing, the man over there's down the road playing saxophone. Did you ever meet Alex? You met Alex. He's awesome. He's a great old blues man. You always need a good blues man somewhere. They're making money. We got another guy over here. He's bald-headed dude. He's like, Mr. Thief over here. His like one arm's like that wide and shit like that, and he's making mad cash just for going, hey man, can I borrow $1? Squashing us for fucking pay. Destroying us. And like, because we know the times to like get started and shit like that. I put up my little license shit in my little box, and I chill back and smoke a cigarette for like until 10 o'clock. Because before then, hey, you gonna say something? What you want to hear, man? What? Because I'm sober as hell and annoyed and angry, and my girl's probably yelling at me about some shit, about me looking homeless all the time, something. Just bitching about something, and I'm depressed, and I don't even feel like it. And I go up and start singing. I'll start singing opera. I'll start singing show tunes. You know why? Let me tell you, it is. The women who leave the bars at 8 o'clock and they're already drunk, sing a fucking show tune. They will trip them because they have to go to bed. 10, they have every song from Camelot memorized. So if they're, you know, they're walking past you, if I would ever leave you. Oh my God! I listened to that all night before my divorce. And my son doesn't love me. And then they keep talking like that. So while she does, you just keep singing and nodding. Those, I suggest those and Stranded at the Drive-In. You need to do those two. I had a point I was going to beforehand, and I rambled a bunch of shit I don't remember that people laughed at, and which is why you guys are better than me. I would have been all clever and put a fucking, you know, I always say that I would have pulled out a cool digital recorder and been like, and put it away and shit like that, because Fred had been here for some of those nights. I'll get up on stage in between people and start talking and try to tell jokes. People, that's what I learned when I was a little kid. If I try to tell jokes, people won't laugh at them. As soon as something happens that I'm passionate about, and I'm like, it's for real, man, that sucked. They're laughing their ass off. Like, they're falling all over their fucking selves. And I'm like, oops. And then I get upset that they're doing that, and they're laughing more and shit. I'm like, I mean, because you're serious. And that was exactly. I don't. It doesn't. Well, I will pretend you're serious because I'm sitting back there because I was laughing, but I was going, yeah. You know, damn, you gotta get fucking famous, dude. God, damn it. It's like you and fucking new Bob Saget. Yeah, fucking. Yeah. Okay, laughing like pumped up funk, man. It's like, yeah. What was? I'm gonna, something else has to, because I'm gonna get off stage in a minute and so somebody has to get up on stage and do something. But I did want to say that homeless people, I don't feel like advising people on homeless people anymore, because people ask me a whole lot of really stupid questions about homeless people. You know homeless people, don't you? I have, and I'm not kidding about that. I have heard, you know homeless people, don't you? Before. I'm at fucking, you know, I'm sitting there in my polo shirt, you know, and my khakis, and with my cigarette case and my watch on, all the shit I leave at home so I'll make more money. You know, I'm sitting there like fucking, you know, just on my billionth smoke break, because I'm a young go-getter, so I can take as many fucking smoke breaks as I want. And I have someone walk up to me while I was almost getting hit on by this single mom chick who makes a lot more money than me. You know, that's the way the corporate ladder works. And shit, I get, you know homeless people, don't you? And I have to go, yes, I do. And I get from that person I got this question, which is why do homeless people always smell like pee? I don't judge anybody who doesn't know why. I mean, because it's understandable, you know, because for one thing, having to do with that, a lot of people don't spend time with homeless people because they smell like pee. You know, I mean, that's it. I mean, when you know, I ride the bus, and when you get on the bus and the homeless guy comes, everyone, including the young thugs who ain't got no money either, like, they're broke as hell. They got that one spinner they're carrying with themselves, getting on the bus with it, and still got to make payments on that one. And shit like that. They ain't got money either. So like, they and I'm gonna forget it in like 20 minutes. They ain't got, and they, because that's in my Durex spiel somewhere. I'll fit it in. And you know, but they moving anyway, like they're fucking, you know, that motherfucker smell like pee. Let me tell you about this dude's night, all right? And you know, you can talk about homeless people ended up homeless because of a cycle of poverty and blah blah blah. You know, I get those notices on the door. I still got my, you know, I still got my damn apartment and shit like that. I went to my first court case, the first one ever, and the chick's sitting there, Sabrina. I don't go into the office because I have a girlfriend, and Sabrina's ass is like that big. Her waist is that big. Because I know the truth, J-Lo's ass isn't big at all. There was a video where there was an angle, and you know, the PR reps had to make sure she's always wearing stripes and plaids and shit, and her ass is small. I would like to see, maybe it's the ass I'm hitting. Maybe it's the ass I like that makes it look like that is. Anyway, Sabrina, her ass is this fucking big. It rounds like that and shit. And she doesn't particularly flirt with me. I just can't imagine a woman with an ass that big isn't flirting with me. She has to be. But I'm sitting there on the bench, and she goes, "That's me replying." and there's a court case going on right there. It's the first time I've ever sat in court, like, because I'm the only one of my boys growing up that doesn't have a record. I'm squeaky clean. When we're in a situation, or someone's stealing something, or someone's gangbanging someone over there, I'm usually going, you know what, guys? I was group Chucky. This is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. We should get out of here. Dude, man, your dad knows every cop. Yeah, and we'll get out of trouble, and he'll whoop my ass when we get home. This is not worth it, guys. I don't want to have to deal with this. And normally, you know, they'd listen to me and things would go on, but then I'm doing anything. I can do any fucking thing that, you know, I'm out like, you know, here's a map, man. This is the cow field, right? Heard those city kids have to pay for mushrooms. That's fucking crazy. This is the first place I ever heard about that. You want to buy mushrooms? There are cows. They poop. And sometimes when they poop, this shit grows right out of the ground. It's like magic. Yeah, it's fucking, anyway, damn, I'm trying to get back to the homeless people and pee. Homeless people and pee. Okay, fuck that point. You guys will never know where that was going. When you're homeless, and it's really cold, and James didn't come by and give you that cool sweater you can't wear anymore, because it's, you know, got some colors on it. Your boy told you, like, oh, why are you always dressing like you on the Cosby Show? Which is another set of jokes altogether. I think I'll drop them and leave that there. I used to like helping dudes out with that. But when it's cold on the streets and you're homeless and you have nowhere to go, there's one thing you can do to get warm. And if you drink for recreation, that's fine. If you've never had to drink because your balls are about to freeze off your body, then I suggest that. And me and my boys weren't homeless, but we were fucking thugs. We were ruffians. We were the bad. We walked down the street 12 deep, like 12 of us in a line. And I went out of town, and I came back, and our name was in the paper. You know, we had like 10 gangs pop up, like. You know, just popped up while I was gone. I was like, what the fuck? Wow, cool. And I was like, look, there's a picture of me. Shit. You know, I was like, what? And we were the Mink Point tap dancers. Okay? Do not let the cops name the gangs. No one's fucking hard anymore. And they had a reason for it. Like, some kids got beat up outside of our neighborhood. They got stomped on and shit. I mean, stomped on? You know, tap dancers. It's so clever. It's really marketable. You could sell that shit. I wanted to make T-shirts. But no, we were the Mink Point Mafia, man. And we never did anything. People who sold radios and stuff like that, they weren't from our neighborhood. They were friends of ours who would sell us radios, which is cool. But look, we never really did anything but walk down the street with 40 bottles we had jacked from Circle K in our back pocket. We all wore Jinkos normally, not because we were all skaters. A couple of us were, not because anyone was, because I said skaters, and I'll probably mention punk rockers later. I was the token. Yes. I was forced to watch Half Baked at least, I think the record in a week was 40 times. I had to deal with, say it. We're sitting there smoking and shit like that. Say it, man. Say it before you take it. Say it. You guys smoke entirely too much weed. Give me that. I fucking hate you guys. It's fucking. But anyway, yeah, we were a gang, and we stood outside all day because nobody's mom wanted to let us in the house. That's just disaster right there. And year round, we stood in a yard, drinking and smoking, and that's why I go hang out with people and shit, like at their houses, and we're chilling. I went to a wine and cheese tasting at someone's house, and they just moved in this neighborhood. They're like, James, why don't you come hang out? And I was like, you want them to see your black friend, don't you? And these friends were honest enough to go, yes. And I'm like, all right, cool. I understand that, man. I have situations where I have to bring a black friend. It shit happens sometimes. But I went to the thing, and I got my tie on. No, it wasn't clip-on. It was a real tie. I had someone in the parking lot tied on for me. We're in there, and everyone goes to sit down. And for like 3 hours, I'm standing there with a little toothpick on cheese and shit with my glass, and just walking around. And dude's like, shit, man, you make me nervous. And I hear that everywhere. At people's houses hanging out, and people are playing video games. I'm sitting there standing the whole time like this, just doing that shit. I can't sit down. I don't feel comfortable because I've been smoking weed since I was like 11, 12. And it is me smoking weed in my house and sitting on the couch. I'm training myself to be able to sit there and be high. Because it's like... You know, because you get really high and you're fidgeting with something. That shit has a lot of people do. You're sitting there, you're getting high, you're fucking with something like that. There's nothing on the table that's interesting anymore. You have picked up and opened and unscrewed everything on this fucking table. And there's like no reason to even be, it's just like, so I'm fucking walk over here. There's nothing even over here. And I'm gonna come back and sit down. And why are they staring at me? I'm gonna do that again so they think everything's okay. But we did that a lot. We stood up and fucking, that's why I do that. And we always peed outside. You walk over there, and it's the, second tree to the right. Always pee on that tree. I had someone from Charlotte. I took them to Beaufort. I want to see this place you're from. It sounds crazy because it's if you've ever been to Beaufort, South Carolina, Full Metal Jacket. Okay, no Full Metal Jacket. That's all you need to know. The place is tiny. You can have a girlfriend till your senior year. If you're not a Marine, she will break up with you so she can marry a Marine. Because it's Beaufort, and those guys have jobs. And when I was making $10 an hour in that town, I became a god. Like, it wasn't shit. Like, that's rich as fuck in that town. But so they don't understand our Beaufortonian ways when anyone I bring there, because it's a strange place. And so when I told them, please pee on that tree. Don't pee anywhere else. Pee on that tree. They thought that, this is one of those crazy, hick things, like, don't fucking rip out your hair and put it on the ground because a bird's gonna make a nest out of it and you'll get a headache or some crazy shit. You guys are full of fucking. The dude goes and pees like right next to where the tree was. The pee comes down the fucking driveway. All the guys that are standing there in sandals get pee covered all over them. They're kicking the shit out of this dude like we like to do and stomping his ass. And it completely wasn't my fault. But the point of this is, while you're peeing outside, I know a lot of people felt the sensation when it's really cold outside, and you go pee, and you get warm for a second, and it's gone off of you. See, when you're homeless and it's really cold outside, you get the first suggestion to go get some liquor. You go get liquored up, and you're sitting there. Damn, it's still cold. You go get more liquor. And now you're an alcoholic, so all you're going to be asking for is money for more liquor. But that's completely besides the point. After you get really used to doing that for a really, really long time, years maybe, you realize that every single time you wake up and you smell like pee, it's because you got really drunk, fell asleep, and wet yourself. It was the most beautiful night's sleep you've had in years because you were warm. Because you peed. And I mean, it's a fucking cycle and shit. So if you ever see one of those homeless guys, and you're disgusted by how horrible he smells and the urine and stuff like that, either buy him a drink or take him home and give him a fucking bath. That was the point of the whole fucking story. Y'all laugh all in between that. My punchline wasn't even more shit, but getting there, the journey, people, the journey. It's all about the journey. No quoting Zen shit in front of me, man. I am the Buddha. I wrote that paper, I am the Buddha, and sent it to every major newspaper in the United States. I'm not serious. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. I sent it to every major newspaper in the United States. It was an op-ed piece. It wasn't one of these, print my article in this because I have dementia. It was an op-ed piece. It was my take on Eastern theology and stuff like that. And my friends at work laughed their asses off and said, everything we're saying to you right now is being taped, dude. You're fucking marked, man. You're like a Maoist. You're a commie. Oh, you're fucked, man. You're going to jail. Which is they're making fun of me, and I'm supposed to either laugh or because I got no shame, man. I used to drop my pants in the mall when all grown up just for the sake of everyone freaking out. Everyone freaked out, dude. It's all it's why is people. See, that's why I've got so many perverts, because everyone's like, ooh, naked, ew. Then later on, they go watch porn in the dark. What the fuck is that? I mean, that's simple shit. You're gonna go, Catholic priests are, molesting children, that's insane. Catholic priests are molesting children and going in the dark and beating the shit out of themselves. Okay? It's because of all this. This is bad. It's bad. It's so bad, you'll go to hell. I'm gonna go in private and do it. How do you not? I mean, I wrote this paper in English, and they didn't give me shit for it. She said she couldn't. It was just like the satire I wrote about the principal. They didn't publish that shit. That shit was fucking awesome writing and shit. And I wrote this paper because I knew a whole lot of Catholic schoolgirls and preachers' daughters, and all of them were Satanists or extremely goth. And they're like, that's so weird. That's the stupidest. That's so weird. That's how it happened. I don't understand. That's how it happened. When's it? Well, you can't necessarily say negative reinforcement, you dumb fuck. Alright, that's, you know how many times that's been said on The Simpsons? And you still don't know what the fuck that means? God! Anyway, does anyone else want to come up and do anything? Cause I'll switch to something else, man. I'm versatile. Yes, please. Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Dude, somebody else said something.
I would.
No, you
I don't
got
want
it.
to pressure you, Bill, because you were just up here, and then me, and then Selena. That's Selena, everyone. Selena.
Yeah, Selena.
Selena does
You
the
are
open mic
now.
night on the fourth Wednesday of every month.
Selena.
Yeah. Here.
You got something?
Right here.
It's pretty. Come on, Selena.
Yeah, let's see.
You have a tattoo.
I got some stuff
You gotta
that
be
isn't
badass.
in any order. You gotta be
Oh, that's this straight. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, do it.
What's that one? Because I got more filler, but I want to save my filler. Not that I did that.
No, I don't think he
That
wants
Do you want to go now?
I really wish I
You
recorded
you
all
said
that.
earlier you didn't want anybody.
Yo, some of that
Oh, wait, yeah.
legit, dude.
Dude, no, I am
Oh, he
recording.
did. He wasn't.